All right, we're here with Vinnie Pasquantino, and this spring training tour has been about spiritual healing. We did the Spikes Up tour. That was about malice. Yep. This one is about spiritual healing. So I want to start this interview by apologizing to you, Vinnie.
Wow. Wow.
In October.
This doesn't happen all the time. Maybe.
No, it doesn't. This is accountability. In October, I sent out a tweet, and I said the Baltimore Orioles would have put up a better fight against the New York Yankees than the Kansas City Royals. And you know what? That was wrong of me to do that. I was just lashing out. Do you accept my apology?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
All right.
I appreciate it.
It was more for me than it was for you.
Yeah, no, you needed that.
I needed to
that.
get
I'm glad
that.
you were able to get that off your chest.
Thank you. Speaking of getting things off their chests, John Cena got something off his chest the other night.
He did.
Shocked is the word for me. Where are you at on John Cena right now?
I'm all in.
You're all in on heel Cena?
All in on heel Cena. The fans finally like him, and they say, screw you. He's going bad, and I like it. So I'm all the way in. I'm very excited for WrestleMania.
What's the number one heel Cena matchup that you're looking to see now? Because this is something that we've been waiting over 20 years for this.
Ooh, I hope he just goes full like dickhead.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good? Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Well, he's gonna beat up R-Truth because R-Truth idolizes him, and he's very popular.
He should beat up everybody.
He should.
Everybody.
Yeah.
He should beat Cody at Mania. He should fight Gunther at some point. He should just go full heel and just beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
Now, am I fair in my assessment here? Because we were talking about this. I'm nowhere near at the level, at the depth of you and Jared in this thing, but I know what's going on. I understand kind of how this has gone. Is this something that, I mean, he's at the end, he's got to be a good guy, right? This has to happen. He can't go out and kiss babies and shake hands and be the face of all that is good in this world without kicking somebody's ass at the end and being the good dude, right?
Yeah, you would think so. But I just hope he just gets the golden shovel out and buries everybody,
yeah.
dude. Everybody.
So you're here for the malice.
I do acknowledge my tribal chief, but
Yeah.
I think he should kick the shit out of him too. Just go.
Because Roman's
after
babyface.
Roman?
Yeah.
Just all in because he
Yeah.
hasn't beaten him before.
That's a full
Win the
assault.
title, go right after him. Just kill the entire bloodline.
Yeah,
And just do it.
There's so many guys that are babyface right now where it's like, oh, you can go after Punk,
Yep.
Orton. There's some classics that you can run back. It would be great if they somehow got Edge back and it's like go through all the hits, play the hits. Very excited about that. But in terms of baseball, you playing for the Kansas City Royals and all, we can switch back to baseball. This season has to be very exciting for you, knowing what you guys accomplished last year and having everyone coming into camp being like, last year it was kind of not a pipe dream, but like no one's talking about us, no one believes in us. But this year is different because we went out and proved it.
Yeah, well, first off, it's freezing today.
It is so
I'm
cold.
kind of shaking. which
We all are.
sucks. This is ridiculous. But yeah, no, camp definitely has a little bit of a different feel in that regard, just because last year we felt like we could do something and make some noise, and this year it's the expectation. So for us, it's different in the way of, okay, now we're just legitimately getting ready for the season instead of trying to go prove it to ourselves all during spring and then at the beginning of the year.
Division?
I don't see why we can't win the division.
Okay.
But I also think if anybody goes into a season thinking that they can't win the division, you're probably in the wrong game. So
That's fair.
I definitely do think we can win the division. I'm excited to match up with some of these teams and get going.
You think they're saying that in the Marlins clubhouse right now? Like, let's go get them, boys, win the division?
I sure hope so, because we were saying it here 2 years ago. So
That's fair.
So I hope so. Yeah, I hope they are.
That's fair. In terms of your experiences last year, what's something, I guess, that you kind of proved to yourself on a personal level last year that you can take into this year that gives you a boost of confidence?
Well, I think the way I hit with runners in scoring position, I'm pretty proud of, because my job is to quite literally drive in runs, not do anything else. Like, I mean, it is to do other stuff.
If you could do other stuff too, that'd be sweet.
That'd be cool too.
We'll take that.
But I'm pretty sure, like, my job description is Vinnie Pasquantino, first baseman, drive-in runs.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it's more old school in that regard. Of like, although I am planning on stealing a few bases this year.
Let's go.
I've never been thrown out, never met a big league catcher who could throw me out, so I'd like to get to 2 maybe this year.
I did see that video
Bro.
you did with MLB where we're waking up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
We're drinking raw eggs. We're doing wind sprints
I mean, you're
out there.
beating your
before the
German
sun
Shepherd
comes up.
in sprints, for Christ's sake. Like,
Yeah,
that's,
he's getting old. He's got back issues, so
that's
there's
right.
a little
Pick
bit of
pick your spots, bro.
but he, I think he helps me get ready. So yeah, I think think that's it. And then another thing I proved to myself is like kind of battle through a little bit of adversity with my thumb and how that went, and just kind of proved to myself I had a goal to get back on the field for the postseason, and I was able to do it. So I think I'm pretty proud of myself for that, but I believe there's more in the tank, and I'm excited for this year.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
What adjustments are we making to give yourself an opportunity to show I can bang against the lefties too? I want those opportunities because I know how badly you want to play baseball every fucking day. And that's a part of it, right? To be able to handle both sides of the platoon. So has there been an emphasis or a point of focus on being able to, whether it's hang in there a little longer, see the pitch a little longer, just a matter of studying your opponents? What are you trying to do to sort of put yourself in that much better of a position?
Yeah, I think there's one aspect of it where I can't really think about the lefty too much, because if I grind mentally on like, okay, I got to do this versus lefties, then I'll face them and be like, well, I have to get a hit.
Sure.
So I think there's one end where I just try to treat it the exact same, but then there also is that other end of, yeah, I do think you got to see the ball a little bit deeper against lefties. Now, maybe a Scooble's a little different, a Crochet's a little. These guys are throwing 100,
Get it
but
down, Vinny.
yeah, but it's understanding how they're going to pitch you. It's going to be a lot of soft away, up and in, stand you up, get you back down. So seeing a little deeper, using the left side of the field a little bit more. I know people in Kansas City will be happy for me to say that because they're tired of me grounding out to second. I'm also tired of me grounding out to second. I just like to know, you think that's fun for me? You get to watch a slow death as I run to first. It doesn't matter how hard I run. I'm going to be out. So, yeah, I'd like to use the other way a little bit more too. And so that's my plan.
There's hits over there, bro.
There's hits over there.
There.
There's like weirdly less hits because of the lack of shift now. Like that was kind of fun a few years ago. They'd go 4 outfield sometimes.
You would just love
hit a ground ball up the middle. That's when I could hit a ground ball.
Sure.
But yeah, I think using the left side of the field would be great, and maybe walking a little bit more.
Yeah,
would be cool. Striking out a little bit less and just doing my thing.
That's great. Like I had a conversation with Lucas Giolito years ago when he was struggling. He came out and was like statistically one of the worst. And I said, I feel like if you just throw more strikes and give up less runs, you're going to be in a great spot.
Yeah.
And it started to work out for him. So striking out less and getting more hits, that sounds like
and walking more.
Pretty solid recipe.
Getting on base more, net positive for everybody.
No doubt.
For me, the Royals, everybody. I mean, there's only one scenario where it's okay for me to strike out, and that's when there's a guy at first with less than 2 outs, because I'm quite the double play threat.
It's not 2 outs.
Yeah.
Not 2 outs. Wise man once said, if you know you're going to hit into a double play, just strike out.
Just strike out. Just strike out. Last year I grounded into 2 double plays against the Brewers, and I'm still thinking about that. We won the game, but I made 6 outs that night. That sucked.
Yeah.
6 of the 27 I was responsible for.
Chip away at that.
Yeah.
You're at this point now, you're one of the most forward-facing, available, media-friendly personalities in Major League Baseball. What would you say to other players that are kind of like on the fence about doing that? Because I'm sure there's more guys that want to be like you, like be like, hey, I have a personality, like I'm pretty funny. My teammates think I'm funny, but to be able to show that side to the public, what would you say to sort of encourage the people that are like, I don't know if that's for me?
Well, I think there's a few reasons why guys don't, and I think it's just because we're out there every day. Like, an 0-for-4 can come quick. You give up a few homers on the mound, that can come quick. And if you're out there talking a lot, you're an easy target. But I don't sleep any worse at night when people come after me because I talk a lot. Like, I think it's fun. I'm trying to help promote the game, promote the Royals, promote myself. The older school mindset was more like, hey, we're sportsmen, we go out and we compete. And I fully believe that the kind of new mindset is, hey, we're entertainers. People come to watch us play. That's why they're showing up. Like, Bobby Witt is one of the most exciting players in the league. They come to watch him play. And that's, I think more guys are buying into the social media, doing more interviews, getting their face more out there, and I think it's helping the game grow. I think people have really gotten into it. I still haven't done TikTok.
Same, kind of.
Which apparently is huge.
Yeah,
so
it's massive.
Maybe we'll get into that. I don't know, but there is at the end of the day, I do have to go play. But
you need to hire someone that just makes your life infinitely easier. Where
Yeah.
they're the ones that are recording you, they edit it and they post
Yeah.
for you. You just have to be you.
You just be you.
Yeah.
let me get to ARB first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get to ARB first, and then we'll start working on that. But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for guys, just because there's a lot of opportunities out there. They just want people who are willing and wanting to do it, and I think it's something that it's easy to buy into because people are just trying to make baseball look better.
So do you think that because Dallas is a dime a dozen, like, you know, someone that was able to retire at an age where you're not like a curmudgeon. He's young enough where he you know, wants to be in the content game and is super knowledgeable. If you're at your point where, say, you retire at 37, God willing, do you hope to kind of stay in the spotlight and make baseball content because I feel like people love what you put out there? Or is it just like, I'm trying to make the most of my opportunity in the big leagues and show face, but when I'm done, I'm riding off into the sunset?
I think there's a piece that looks appealing to both, where it's like, hey, you make enough money, you can just go do whatever you want.
Just go fuck off.
But I also think there's a piece of me that doesn't really care about the money aspect like that. Like, I just really like the game. Like, I really like it when the old heads and the nerds are fighting. It's like,
it's entertaining.
Like, it's fun.
It's great.
And it creates conversations around the game. Now, I do think it's hilarious when people just look at a computer and say, well, this is what you should do because the computer says it. And then they're like, but then you get like the old school veterans who played for 10 years that are like, no, but I played and you didn't. And it's like, well, there is a piece of it where it doesn't really matter. Like, you can still coach if you don't play.
Sure,
like,
sure. Let me ask you this. All right, you have to play a career. You get to play a 12-year career, but you have an option. You can take all of your lessons and every bit of what you're doing, how you create yourself as a player, your skill set, and that comes with just what we'll call feel or the old school approach, right? Or you can play a career solely based on the analytical data provided for you, and at no point in time are we talking feel. You might even just be walking into a building and this information is presented to you. There is no communication with a guy who's seen 95 with run. There is no communication.
Loaded question, DB.
Who's seen depth. Where are you going? What are you picking? Which pathway? This is MLB The Show. Which pathway are you picking?
I'm going the old school, like, feel. Like, there's just something about that to me. Like, and when I look at the value of stuff too, I think we're in a weird spot because when was the last time you heard a guy talk about when there's a guy at second with nobody on, I'm just going to go get him over?
Yeah.
I've actually been told that situational hitting doesn't exist anymore.
Oh.
And I'm not saying that's here, but I have been told that.
You've heard that. Yeah. It's a conversation.
Or like, hitting is blackjack. If it's not in your spot, don't swing. It's like, well, if there's 2 strikes,
I've got.
I'm not just
gonna.
One of the things I have argued with, like, here is the chase rate stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't think that I should get knocked on a chase pitch with 2 strikes.
Sure.
What if the umpire calls it a strike?
Sure.
Now I'm out.
Well, is it fair if I rebut with, I'll give you shadow zone, but anything outside of the shadow, I got to bang you, Vinny?
Sure, okay. That's fine. But I'd also argue, that 0-2 pitch that was outside the shadow zone that I fouled off, then I got to the next pitch, then I got to the next one. I ended up walking, and it was 10 pitches. I'm okay with that.
I am more than okay with being able to give you credit to go ahead and go out of there because now we're talking about your O swing and your ability to stay in the fight, stay in the at-bat. So more than appreciative of that, and I would credit you 1,000%.
Like, so I guess to answer your question best is I know some people say that, like, hitting is a science. Mm-hmm. I look at hitting like an art.
Yes.
Like, swinging is the science, but the hitting piece where, like, I'm trying to do stuff, that's like doing art in my mind.
Because hitting means how you're processing it and interpreting it is this is a skill set. I have to artfully do this. And it might be, and I have a front row seat watching it with a guy you know very well, Brent Rooker, and the way that he last year started to be able to expand his zone early in the count with guys and runners in scoring position because you have a job. Mm-hmm. You're a hitter, and you are trying to hit a pitch in a situation to execute and get a job done. That's the art behind hitting, right?
Yeah, well, it's like if there's a guy at third base with less than 2 outs, it's like a free throw. Like,
for sure.
Just get him in.
It
doesn't matter how. Like, again, now we're going into this analytical conversation, but sack flies, negative 1,000 or negative 100 WRC plus, negative WAR attached to that. Like, except we're up 1-0.
Right. How does that?
The goal is to score runs. The goal is to beat the other team.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that actually only happened because of the guy in front of you got there, and it's situational based, and we don't believe in that. So that's just a fly out, actually. It's like, oh, well, no, it's not.
No. Tim Kirchin will not hear that.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you talked about earlier in the interview where you were a little hard on yourself with your strikeout and your swing and miss and saying that's something you want to take a step forward with. I mean, league-wide, you're already extremely impressive in that regard, and even more so as it relates to corner infielders. Has that always, is that like an innate part of your game, or is that something that somewhere along the developmental path you were like, this is a decision that I want to make about how I'm going to approach?
I think it was just kind of how I was raised. Like my dad and I would go into the cage and we would basically do live at bats. I didn't understand that they were live at bats at the time, but we would just play. Like if I get a hit, guy at first, and then we would just. And when he would make me swing and miss, he would laugh at me, and I really don't like being laughed at. So it was one of those things where. Like it just now it's a blessing and a curse in some ways because sometimes I'd rather miss than ground out to second, but especially early in the count. But it's just one of those things where I just feel like if I put the ball in play, something good can happen. Like a lot of people will say, like, what's the worst that can happen? I always say, what's the best that can happen? Now I wish my batting average on balls in play would go up a little bit because I put the ball in play a lot and I'm slow and left-handed and hit the ball at second base, but. In my mind, putting the ball in play is better than not. So it's just something that I just take a lot of pride in.
Doing the spring training tour, we kind of hit a bunch of camps, and we get to see the differences of which teams. Is there like a national emergency happening right now? Or
there's a base, some Air Force base, I think.
That makes sense.
And they do a bunch of training every day. So, yeah, it gets loud here.
Yeah. But like we've been to a bunch of different camps, and they'll bring back former players and legends from that team. Do you have someone that's a mentor to you, or someone that you really enjoy picking their brain, having baseball conversations with, that comes back during this time of year?
Mike Sweeney's here all the time during spring, and he's the man, and he's the nicest human being I've ever met. And like sometimes I'm like, you're being too nice.
No,
but then it's just him.
Yep.
So he did Michael Massey's wedding this winter, and it was great. There was a lot of tears from him. It was awesome. There was karaoke sang at the wedding, like at the ceremony.
Yeah.
Never seen that before. It was awesome. But he's just the nicest guy in the world, and I keep telling him I'd like to break his 145 RBI record.
Ooh,
so that's my goal.
Yeah.
I tell him that every time I see him is I'm coming for that.
He is, well, like when you talk about mentor, to have that kind of dude, that kind of a human
It's
floating
incredible.
around, like he instantly, as when he walked into our clubhouse at the end of his career, he instantly became everybody's best friend, everybody's big brother, everybody's like life advice counsel. Like he checks every box, man.
And just as a first baseman, it's awesome to be able to pick his brain. As a guy who drove in runs, it's what he did. Like, just what were you thinking about in this situation? How did you approach this? How did you approach this pitcher? And he just baseball knowledge is off the charts, so it's just awesome to be able to chop it up with him.
Well, I can almost like hear his conversation maybe to you about the responsibility that you're talking about, driving in runs. Like, we got a job to do, right? Like, this is what we're looking to do by any means necessary. Get it done. Just an absolute grinder.
Get it done. Yeah.
If there was a movie made about your life, which WWE superstar would you pick to play you?
Ooh, man, that's a loaded question.
They can be dead or alive from all time.
I think just body type wise, probably The Rock. Maybe The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Young Undertaker. Great,
Yeah.
good hair, you know. Man.
You know who Earthquake is?
No.
I had you more like Earthquake type food.
Vader.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was at the run, like those guys are kind of short, so
Yeah.
it is something that makes me feel good. Is when I
Earthquake
see other
not
like professionals and I'm way taller than them.
They just that's what's messed up is like, I mean, you obviously don't have this problem, but in WWE they can just make up their height.
They can just make it up.
Make it up. They're like, he's 7 foot tall, and it's like he's 6'7", which is very tall,
Yeah, it's
but like
tall.
not
It's
7
not
feet.
7 feet.
How tall was the giant Gonzalez?
He was like 7'8".
Yeah, he was
tall.
He was
He was
actually
massive.
He was tall.
But like some of these dudes, like they're listed at 6'1". Like I'm not gonna name names, but there was someone that was listed at 6'1". I met him. We were basically the same height.
Isn't Cena like 4.5 feet tall?
Cena's. I mean, I have a
Taller than
picture.
that, but he's not tall.
He's not tall either. Yeah, like
little
Chris Jericho, not that tall. I
Yeah.
met Ricochet. Like he came up to my nipples.
Yeah, and he flies.
Very, very athletic, but very, very diminutive.
Yeah. I saw that spot that him and Logan Paul did a few years ago
Yeah.
where that was crazy. They
Yeah.
do some crazy shit.
Yeah, Logan Paul, freak
I
athlete.
couldn't even think about, like, even McAfee when he did it and he was doing backflips and shit. I'm
Former
like,
coworker.
yeah, he was.
He was.
Like, how's he doing that? Like, whatever.
I mean, he's an actual athlete.
Yeah.
Like Logan Paul, it's like
Vinny,
dude was like a YouTuber podcaster, and now he's doing like the top stunts at
It's crazy.
WWE PLEs.
I feel like if you put the spandex on and just get the camera rolling, something would take over you, and you would be able to fly just like them.
Yeah, I would have to wear a shirt though. I'm not.
a singlet.
I don't have the abs.
singlet.
I don't have the
Singlet.
abs yet for WWE, but
Yeah.
I'm working on it. That's what I'd like to do if I retire at 37, go do the WWE for like 7-8 years, and then come back to baseball.
Yeah,
Sure.
some guys that their careers just be like Diamond Dallas Page. I think
Yeah.
he started when he was like 39.
Yeah.
So you
well,
can have a double career,
LA Knight's like 48.
right? AJ Styles is like 46. John Cena, bald as shit. 50,
Bald
like,
as shit.
Yeah.
Bald as shit. You should look at Michael Massey. They've got very similar hair too.
Oh, Massey
Brutal.
catching straight.
out of nowhere.
John Cena would play Michael Massey in a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. If you do you know Sean Casey at all?
A little bit. Yeah.
Next time you see Sean Casey, ask him his John Cena story.
Okay. I will.
It is one of it, not even just like a baseball or a wrestling story. It's just like a top 5 life story. Yeah.
Good, great.
Yeah.
I'll ask him.
Ask him. Yes, 1,000%. Where are we at on time? All right, we got a couple more questions. So for you, we like to talk about goals with individuals. I know you mentioned the runs batted in and obviously World Series playoffs. Take all that stuff off the table. The 2 stolen bases, that we know that one too. Is there something statistically that you hope to achieve this year from an individual perspective?
This is a lame answer, but I'd like to be healthy all year.
No,
Is there a health stat?
not limited. Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's called games
Games
played.
played.
Motherfucker.
Games
Toes
played.
it up.
I'd
All right,
like I would like to be available to play in a baseball game 162 times during the regular season
Okay.
this year. That would be my goal this year. I might not get to 162, but I'd like to be available for 162.
It is. Take it from somebody who, at the end of my long illustrious career, was just a professional rehabber at that point. It's a skill, man. It's something that you have to learn how to do, how to taper, how to know when to say when, how to lay the body down, and understanding that recovery is just as important, and if not more so at this point,
Yeah.
even early in your career.
Well, the coolest thing that people always say when guys come from other teams, they talk about other players, because I always try to pick brains about like different players, especially first basemen, and they're like, he just posts.
Yeah.
Like that's the nicest compliment.
Absolutely, dude.
He posts every day.
That's all you want to, as a pitcher, that's all you want to do. Can I take the ball, even if my arm's falling off? Like,
Yeah.
can I just take the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does your YouTube algorithm look like when you're logging on to the YouTube app on your TV? What is it suggesting that you like to watch?
It's literally just like Colin Coward. It's it's just that pretty much. Like
It's just that.
it's just talk shows. Rich Eisen I listen to all the time.
Yeah.
Been on the Rich Eisen show. Felt really good.
Sorry about it.
That was a solid performance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sports talk shows, specifically football. I really lock in during the fall.
Sure.
Because I don't really have much else going on.
Same.
Like late in the fall, like November, December.
Has anybody told you that you just give extreme Shane Gillis?
Yeah, every time I do an interview.
Yeah.
And Bob's
Like,
friends,
that's
Bob's
all I
friends
can
with
hear
him.
right now. I watched a couple of beers last night for
Yeah.
probably an hour.
Yeah.
And this is all. That's all. I'm waiting for you.
I
to,
didn't notice it until
Waiting for you to give me
this.
the Trump. I'm waiting for you to give me something.
No, I can't do impressions.
I'm not asking you to.
I won't.
But
Yeah.
Jesus, man,
I appreciate that because he's very funny.
he's hilarious.
But Bob's friends with him, and I'm like, "Yo, Bob,"
Let's.
and he knows this too. He knows every time I do an interview, he's like,
come on.
there's just, "You know him,
Yeah.
let's make it happen."
I,
But
I think that's
you know,
something. That's a meetup that should absolutely happen.
Yeah, he's big too, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
like
he's
tall.
not a little fella.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Maybe him. Can he play me in a movie?
He would. That's who I was going to
I
have
feel
play
like he
you
would
in a movie.
absolutely play.
Yeah,
you.
okay,
1000%.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
1000%.
I've got better hair though.
You do have better hair.
I'm very proud of my hair.
Unequivocally, yeah.
You got
My
good
wife
hair.
hates it, but I'm
Really?
I'm very proud of it.
You know what? This might come off as an insult, the comparison.
Wow.
But so no, it's a compliment though,
Wow.
because your hair, like when you pop the top, it's still like wow. But like Marty Mush, when he pops the top, you're like, ugh. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
because you never know like out
Well,
the
he's,
back like
he's
what's
not a
going on.
hat fisher.
Right.
You're not a hat fisher.
You were for a time though, because you had like the curly locks coming out the back, but the
Yep.
yeah.
It's not moving.
Mine's
You just
still,
wait.
Mine's still okay. It's
Yeah,
not. I don't
like
have
that's-
it gelled up today, but
That's amazing.
we had yoga today, so I had it in a bun before I came out
It's
here.
thick, it's full, the
Yeah, thank
hairline
you.
is solid.
It's Italian. What can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some have even said this guy might as well be from New Jersey. You
A
know,
lot of people say that. A lot of people freaking say that, and I'm not from New Jersey. Got a lot
No.
of friends from New Jersey. I prefer pork roll over Taylor ham, but I know they're the same thing, but it's pork roll. But I'm not from New Jersey, so maybe I'll start correcting people next time they say it. Be like, no, just stop the interview. I'm not from New Jersey.
Where did the rumor come from? Just you're Italian. They assume. Oh, he's from
Yeah,
New Jersey.
and I'm a Jets fan, so it's just like he's Italian Jets fan. He's from New York or New Jersey. Yeah, it has to be. Can't be from anywhere else.
He
Yeah.
has to be.
No room.
Yeah.
Hot tub time machine.
Hot tub time machine. You get to jump in a hot tub time machine.
It's a regular
and
one.
you get to. It's the best the hot tub time machine is the best time machine you could ever be in. So you're in a hot tub time machine, and you're blasting back into the past, baseball history. Any moment in baseball history, you get to be there and witness it unfold. You don't get to play. You just get to watch.
Get to watch.
Just get to be there to experience this moment.
I'd like to watch Luis Gonzalez's walk-off, just because I was alive, but I was like 3 or whatever.
Really?
Or whatever.
Well, so what's the attraction?
Walk-offs are sick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's really the only attraction is like walk-offs are
Dope.
awesome.
Sure.
So that's the one that sticks out in my mind. I don't really know why.
It's a lefty staying inside a cutter, not getting chewed up and
David
rolling over to
Ortiz
second.
hitting a home run off of Mike Myers. It's a very random
This was
game.
in 2005.
Yeah, but I watched it as a kid. I'm like, he's got no shot. Mike Myers is coming into the game, and then it was just like whack.
And then he dumped it into like the center. It was like the bullpen, but
Yeah.
like in center field.
Uh-huh.
And it was cold, and the wind was blowing in.
So seeing that moment would be cool, just because.
That's the most random home run of all time. The Yankees acquired Mike Myers
To
to get
Poppy.
David
Yeah.
Ortiz out, and they brought him in, and he still just muscled it.
Yeah, so like those moments stick in my mind because it's just like that. Your one job was to
Yeah.
get that guy out, and you didn't do it. And that sucks. Like, quite literally, your job.
Yeah.
Just get him out.
Yeah.
Don't let him hit it over the wall.
And I just wanted to incorporate some Red Sox in there for you.
I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
I was actually, my final question is, selfishly, I want to know, how excited are you that Garrett Crochet is out of the division now?
I've never faced him.
You haven't?
Talk about platoon.
He didn't have to face you.
Yeah, that's right. He
Yeah.
didn't have to face me. But he only pitched against us once last year, I think.
Okay.
So, and I missed him. I ducked him that
Yeah.
day. So that
Spa day.
it's tough. Yeah, not really. Hey, off days are worse than playing days. You're working harder. You're getting ready in like the 5th inning. You don't know when you might go into the game. I do have one pinch hit, triple.
Triple?
off the A's.
Off the A's.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his 2 triples last
One of
year.
my 2 triples, pinch hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
78-mile-an-hour ground ball down the first base line that stuck down the line, and I just kept going. It was amazing. So Tyler Ferguson was the pitcher. He was a cutter, I believe. Got down 0-2 quick. Quick.
Yeah. I think Brownie fell down over at first base. He couldn't get to it.
Yep.
I think Lawrence.
He may have fallen down too.
Yeah, I think so.
Still a triple. Still a triple. So my pinch hit stats look really good. So maybe later in my career that could.
You faced
Little Matt
Ersteg in
Sears?
lives yet?
Yeah, he struck me out.
How quick did that happen?
Very.
Yeah.
Very quick. I'm also the worst live hitter of all time. Of all time.
Do you get caught in between, like, you know what? I'm just going to track shit today. And then you're like,
That happened.
I'm
I told everybody
I'm
one
not
day.
tracking shit.
Yeah.
And
I
then
told.
whap!
I was facing Chris Bubich, one of my first lives. I'm like, I'm not swinging, just tracking. I got down 0-2, and for some reason my brain just went, "You're swinging."
You got
Swung
it. Got to
the
protect.
changeup. Like the swing, I probably you could
Not
get the
even
bat
close.
speed. If you could get the bat speed on, it's probably like 40 miles an hour because there was no conviction in that swing at all. And I walked back at India's like,
What
"Fuck
are
are
you
you
doing?"
doing? You told me you weren't swinging." I was like, "Dude, I took over." And I thought I could.
That is one of my favorite parts about early spring is guys, because that happens. Like you get up there and you're like, bro, I'm just feeling it. I'm not doing, and then the competitive juice comes. And I mean, it's happened where you throw a pitch and you're like, I thought you weren't fucking swinging.
Well, and I'll plan things out in advance too. Like I faced Reagan's in my first live, and I fouled a ball off. It was 0-2, fouled a ball off. I was like, Cole, I can do this all fucking day, man. And I always joke with him that he throws 2 change-ups all the time, so I just sit on it. And my plan was, okay, he's definitely throwing a change-up here. As soon as he throws it in the dirt, I'm going to spit out towards the pitcher and be like, I'm all over. He went fastball right down the middle, and I just didn't swing. Like, apparently I can't do this all day.
Day's done.
Day's done. I'm just going to walk back to that. You look very good today, Cole.
Coming
Very
out
good.
clean.
Yeah, yeah.
Vinnie Pasquantino. This lived up to the hype.
Thank you.
We
I
were looking
appreciate
forward
that.
to this one the whole tour. I was like, this one will deliver. I promise you. So thank you for making the time today. We'll have
Thank
to get
you,
you on
guys.
during the season as well.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I love that.
See you there.